He can't stop thinking about her. And no matter how far he goes, how many women he meets, or how much time passes, she's still there. Not because she begged, not because she chased, not because she tried to prove herself, but because she knew who she was, and she never flinched. That's the kind of woman a man can't replace. It's not the most beautiful woman. It's not the most agreeable, the most available, or the one who tries the hardest to please him. It's the one who knows her worth and never hands it out for free. The one who makes him feel something rare. Not comfort, not chaos, but challenge, depth, reflection. A shift in his world that he didn't see coming. And when she's gone, that silence is not just a space, it's a storm. Because that kind of presence doesn't come around twice. That kind of energy can't be copied. You want to be that woman? Then forget everything you've been told about how to keep a man. Stop thinking like someone trying to be liked, and start thinking like someone who knows they're valuable. Because the moment you start showing up with that energy, the energy of a woman who doesn't need to be chosen to know she's enough, everything changes. Being irreplaceable starts with what you don't do. You don't chase. You don't over-explain. You don't compete. You don't try to be the cool girl who tolerates everything just to stay. You don't overextend yourself for someone who gives you half effort. You don't try to prove your worth. You are the proof. You walk in it. You embody it. And that energy speaks louder than anything you could say. He can't replace a woman who is never afraid to walk away. A woman who could love him deeply, but never lose herself in the process. She was present, but not desperate. Connected, but not dependent. She gave, but never begged. She showed up, but always had somewhere else to go. That kind of woman doesn't beg to be chosen. She chooses herself first, every time. And here's what most women don't realize. A man doesn't remember you for how much you loved him. He remembers you for how much you respected yourself while loving him. That's what leaves an imprint. That's what lingers long after the texts stop. Long after the nights end. Long after he moves on physically, but can't shake the weight of what he lost emotionally. Because deep down, he knows. He didn't lose a girl. He lost a woman. A woman who never needed him, but wanted him. There's a difference. And men never forget it. You want to be unforgettable? Then stop giving easy access to your energy, your attention, your softness, your consistency. All of that is a privilege, not a default, not a guarantee. The moment you hand it out without requiring depth, clarity, consistency, you become replaceable. Not because you're not worthy, but because you didn't make your value felt. A man has to earn the emotional space you offer, not through gifts, not through big words, but through behavior, through effort, through emotional presence. And if he doesn't show up with it, you don't beg. You don't lower your standard. You don't teach him how to treat you. You teach him how to miss you. Let me be real with you. Most men don't value what they didn't struggle to earn. They might be attracted to you. They might want you. But if you're always available, always forgiving, always giving, they stop seeing you as someone they need to protect and start seeing you as someone they can predict. Predictability is the beginning of emotional death in a man's mind, because once he feels like he knows every response, every move, every emotion, the mystery dies. And with it, the desire to chase. You want to be the woman he can't forget? Then you have to become the woman who is willing to be misunderstood, to be doubted, to be called cold or too much or too distant, because you refuse to shrink to fit his comfort zone. You stand in your truth. You don't flinch when he pulls back. You don't react when he tests you. You don't bend just because you feel lonely. Because you know the woman you're becoming isn't defined by who stays, but by what you tolerate while they're there. He can't replace a woman who never let him feel like he owned her. Not emotionally, not mentally, not energetically. She was all in, but always had an edge of detachment. She loved him, but she never forgot who she was. That's the difference between obsession and self-respect. One begs, the other attracts. One clings, the other watches. One says, "Please don't leave." The other says, "You're free to go." Men don't forget the woman who didn't ask for clarity. She demanded it through her distance. She didn't ask him to communicate. She walked away when he didn't. She didn't wait around hoping he'd change. She changed her availability the moment he stopped showing up with consistency. The woman he can't replace? She doesn't compete with other women. She doesn't try to stand out. She is the standard, and she knows it. She doesn't need to convince anyone, because her presence, her peace, her emotional intelligence, it all says one thing: you don't find this twice. And he knows it. The moment she's gone, he feels it. Not just because she stopped texting, not just because she's not around, but because her absence feels heavier than her presence ever begged to. She didn't just disappear, she left a void, a silence that speaks louder than words, a presence that can't be replaced with a body, or a new name, or a temporary distraction. Because that woman, she had substance, she had depth. She didn't just look good, she felt good to be around. She had standards, boundaries, confidence. She didn't collapse into him, she complemented him. And that kind of emotional experience stays in a man's mind far longer than anything physical ever could. So stop asking how to keep a man. Start asking how to become the version of you that never fears losing one. The woman who looks at herself in the mirror and says, "I'm the peace he didn't know he needed, and the storm he'll never be ready for again." Because that woman, she doesn't get replaced. She becomes the lesson he never forgets. You want to be the woman he can't replace? Then become the woman who never begs for love, who never waits for attention, who never stays where she's not respected. You want to live in his mind? Then stop giving him all of yours. You want to be remembered? Then stop showing up for people who forget you when it's convenient. And above all, remember this: you don't become irreplaceable by trying to be everything he wants. You become irreplaceable by being everything he can't earn twice. And once you've embodied that, he'll feel your absence in every silence, in every woman who isn't you, in every space where your energy once lived. Because he didn't just lose a partner, he lost an experience, a connection, a presence that can't be duplicated. And that is how you become the woman he can't replace.